Hi everybody, I'm Michael. This is a 5-minute review for Nancy Drew number 13, Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon, which is another excellent game in the Nancy Drew series. It is a 10 out of 10 for me. I think it's fantastic. Definitely one of the great games in the series. Part of what makes it so great is it has a bunch of different characters and they're all pretty interesting. Like the Hardy Boys are in this game. We get to see them and interact with them, which is really cool. And there's Charlena Purcell, who was in Secret of Shadow Ranch. She was only a phone contact in that game, but she's cool in this game. And Fatima is hilarious. She's a fantastic character. Pretty much every line she says has me in stitches. It's a really funny game. There's also Tino Balducci, who's this really terrible police officer, but he's so full of himself. It's funny. John Gray is probably the weakest of the characters because he's this ghost hunter and he really believes in ghost stuff, and his show just got canceled, so he has motive to do something crazy. But that's about it. They should have done something with him. I feel like we should have had more story with him. That would have made him a more interesting character. Because the other characters have storylines like, okay, well, Laurie has a big fight with Charlena about her romance novel. Laurie Gerard is this really rich character who is kidnapped at the start of the game, and like the first third of the game is going through this train. It's a train. Nancy goes through the train, she solves a bunch of puzzles, and she finds Laurie, and she basically gets this really long letter with a long set of puzzles. She needs to solve all of the puzzles in order to find the location of Jake Hurley's lost mine. And it's in Blue Moon Canyon. The title of the game kind of gives it away, but it's really well done. I like the setup of the train and the various puzzles. I feel like, if I could improve it, I would change where the sleeper car is. Yeah, because you have to go, that's like the second car, and there's like two puzzles in there, and you have to go back and forth between that all the time, and that's kind of a pain. There's also an optional storyline where somebody pulls the brake. That's an interesting one, solving that mini mystery. Nancy needs to find like these slugs on the ground, and she's got like this letter puzzle, not this letter, color puzzle, which works really well. Yeah, overall, I like the puzzles. You need to find these creepy dolls, and you really need to like take notes to get these creepy dolls figured out. I don't like that. Nancy needs to get these pipes figured out in every single train car, which I thought was a nice touch. Like every train car has its own little pipes puzzle. And yeah, like halfway through the game, we land in town where we have the crypt of Jake Hurley's wife with this really creepy crypt person. And there's Fatima, who, as I mentioned, is a fantastic, hilarious character who wants you to get Charlena Purcell's autograph. And Nancy has to do a puzzle for Tino. And yeah, I think all the characters kind of make you do puzzles, except Charlena. Charlena's just there to work, really, and write her story, so she's not as involved in the mystery as the other characters are, which is fine. And I mentioned the Hardy Boys are in this game. They're hilarious. The best part of the game is Joe Hardy being obsessed with cheeseburgers. I thought that was great, and that's actually in some of the Hardy Boys books, is him being obsessed with cheeseburgers. So it's not something they made up for the game. I always find it funny when it gets referenced in other places. It's just so cool to see the Hardy Boys and interact with them and work with them, and they help you actually solve the mystery, which is really cool. And like you get to explore the train when nobody else is there, so that's also a fun thing too. Like you have to go through the train multiple times, and it's interesting because the train location, it feels like it would be small and confining, but it actually ends up being pretty expansive. Every single car feels like its own different situation, and it works really well. It's just, I love the setting. The end of the game is okay, where Nancy finally solves all the puzzles and puts them together. Frank does cheeseburger making and gets this really, really long clue for like one of the final puzzles of putting things together. You also have to find gems, put them in the correct spots, and that was kind of a stretch, kind of a weird puzzle. But oh man, I'm running out of time. Anyway, Nancy finds this lost cave, and it turns out that Jake Hurley had a letter from Abraham Lincoln, and that was the real treasure all along, his knack for making friends. and the culprit tries to kill Nancy so the culprit can become famous for finding the letter all by themselves. Nancy has to escape from the mines and then basically shoves the culprit in the mud. It's a funny ending. Luckily, the Hardy Boys are there too to help her out. I do like the ending of the game. I think it's fun and very dramatic and exciting going on the minecart thing. So overall, really good game, fantastic. One of those games that I just would love to play over and over and over again. It's great.